So I'm reading nose to that backer and just reading how he flows, watching his flow and the way he's going with it. So here he automatically is shooting this gap here, thinking he's going to get a free shot. And our center does a good job of coming off that deuce block is what we called it, and eating him up. Once you see all these guys crossing face, you just read the bust of your offensive lineman and you know exactly where that ball is supposed to go.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Alex Rollins. Today, I am honored to be joined by the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, the Utah Utes all-time leading rusher with 4,167 rushing yards and 5 other school records, Zack Moss. How's it going, man?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thank you very much for being on.
No problem.
So the process right now is crazy. You got the draft coming up, you're preparing yourself. And then on top of that, we have the virus and everything going nuts. I just want to know right off the bat, football aside, how is Zack Moss, the human being, doing right now?
Oh, man, I'm doing good, man. With everything going on, I'm kind of looking at it as a little bit of a vacation, coming from college, playing 4 straight years, getting a little downtime. Has been, very beneficial for me, just being able to hang out a little bit more and just relax and things like that. It's been good for me. So I'm doing good, even despite, the world not being so great at the moment.
Fantastic, man. I know that you spend a lot of time studying film during the week, and, it really shows on film with your vision, your IQ. What kind of things are you looking for when you are studying a defense, whether it be, defensive line, linebacker, secondary? What are you looking at? I'm looking at, just where the defense lines up originally. If it's a regular 4-3 base, where the toes at, they're at 5 yards or they're at 4.5 yards, just these small nuances, realizing if the corners are playing outside technique, head up, and where their eyes are, just to realize where the blitzes are coming from. Figuring out these guys' tendencies, what they like to do if they come in with a pass rush, if they're more of a speed guy, or they're going to run through your face. All those things are very, very important, and allows you to, once you learn all those things about each guy on that defense, it allows you to play a lot faster. You don't have to sit there and think about, okay, what this guy's going to throw at me here and there, what type of tackler he is, and things like that. So, all right, well, let's take a look at some of that film.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this is against Arizona. This is the very first play of the game here, Zach. You guys are running your split zone, right? So you're going to have your inside zone run to the right with number 80, that tight end, coming across on a split zone. He's going to sift across. And you guys got a ton of mileage out of this play. Just walk me through what you're reading, what you're looking at pre-snap, post-snap as the play begins. What are you looking at?
So first, I'm realizing what type of defensive front they're in. Right now, they're in the 3-down front, So I'm reading nose to that backer and just reading how he flows, watching his flow and the way he's going with it. So here he automatically is shooting this gap here, thinking he's going to get a free shot. And our center does a good job of coming off that deuce block is what we called it, and eating him up. Once you see all these guys crossing face, you just read the bust of your offensive lineman and you know exactly where that ball is supposed to go. And once I seen that, I automatically knew just, it's a feel thing, it's instincts as well that goes into this, just being able to have that feel and knowing what your offensive line here is doing. Just getting that wind back, the biggest thing here with the wind back is the tight end getting that block. And
then as you squirt free here, this looks difficult too, because you have to accelerate through this gap, right? You can't just take your time. But then you got a cornerback out here, Jace Whitaker, who you weren't too kind to throughout this game. And I'm just wondering, when you stiff arm somebody, it really shows up that you're able to consistently put that hand in the proper place. Where is your target point with that stiff arm?
You really want to catch him, right there on the bottom half of that face mask, where you can pretty much kind of direct his head and his body. Where if you make contact with that bottom half of that face mask, he's pretty much done for. He's reaching in. And he's not really in balance and things like that. So it's really like a bowling ball there after that, just hit him right. And, I've just been able to be consistent with this stiff arm, and it's been a very, very good weapon for me.
Oh, man, this play is nuts, man. All right, so here we have an inside zone run with some jet motion at the beginning of the play, which is similar to split zone, but you don't have that tight end coming across. So, Zach, just take me through what exactly are you looking at on this play? You get that jet motion. What are your reads, and what do you do with that immediate pressure right there?
So again, here my read is to understand what type of defensive front they're in. And again, they're sitting in a 3-down front.
When do you notice 19? Is it right away? Is it right when he's in your face? When is he popping up?
Right before I get the ball. So probably like, 2 seconds before I get this ball, I'm already diagnosing him. I've been able to, pretty much be able to scan the entire offensive line from right tackle to left tackle. And right here, our offensive line, we collect the wrong guy, so we double on 93 when one of us should go out to 19. And then this play would be a lot smoother. So right there, I'm just able to, diagnose it really fast. Right here, my read automatically is all over. It's about being special here and, dissecting the instant pressure that I'm getting. I've always, had a knack and always been able to be good at, always been able to elude that first guy. If it's with the spin move that I do at the line of scrimmage. And, this one was different for me because this right here was all instincts. It's like I said before, the best players play when they're not thinking as much. I was able to go ahead and just make a play here and then, put the ball in the end zone. And it's definitely one of my more favorite plays that I've been able to make.
What I really like about this run is, can you tell us about the importance of sinking your hips here, getting really tight to this tackle right here and creating a better angle for yourself? How important is that?
It's very important, man. Honestly, I work on my hips all the time, and it's very, very important for backs to have good hips, being able to bend, being tight, staying tight to this is very, very important because, if I leak out anymore, I'm putting myself in harm to get tackled a lot sooner and things like that and making the defender's job a lot easier. But staying tight to my guard here on his butt gives me an opportunity to go ahead and get downhill as fast as possible. And then, I'm just able to go ahead and just get in the end zone.
Yeah, you can see, that you got some pursuit coming. 27, who just went low the play before. Are you remembering that? Are you seeing that you have that in the back of your mind that he just did that and that's where he's going to try and attack again?
Yeah. So, going into film week, like I said, it's about understanding your players' tendencies that you're going to go against. And we knew coming into this game, 27 was a guy that loves to go low. He's not a guy that's going to take you up high. So we knew that. And honestly, he was able to tackle me going low twice early in this game. Once time on the goal line over here, I think it was the second half, but he was able to tackle me low here one time. And then also later in the game, he was able to get me again. So this time I knew he was going to go low again. And it's just about, getting that leg out of the way. We call this dead leg move, which is kind of like a prehistoric move in a way that backs really don't use a lot anymore. But it's definitely still a really good tool.
When we go back to the beginning of this play, the quarterback's giving a kill call. Do you know what he's trying to do? Do you know what he's seeing? Right there, he's scanning the play to the second option. What is he looking at and what is he seeing?
So the guy coming in motion, that jet receiver coming in motion, the original play is an inside zone fake, and the ball is going to go to that receiver on the jet motion. But since 96 is so far out at that defensive end spot, our tight end wouldn't be able to get there and get to him. We go out of that play, and then we go to the inside zone. When in doubt, we always, whatever it was, if it was a pass play, the quarterbacks had the ability to get us into a good run play.
All right, so now we're going to look at this OSU game. And Zach, I just want to know, what did you eat before this game, man? Because you went crazy.
No, just the regular little pre-meal.
So we're looking at split zone again. We have number 80, the tight end, coming across, kicking out that end man on the line of scrimmage. And what really stood out to me on this play was they fit this run up. For other backs, there's nowhere to go. There's no open gaps. Nothing has been created for you. Walk me through this play. Walk me through what you're reading pre-snap again and then post-snap. What happens here?
Again, so, just diagnosing what type of front they're in. So right here, these guys do a really good job of not really being able to get moved off the ball a lot. The backers do a really good job of coming up and eating up the gaps. And like you said, there's really nowhere to go with this ball. Most of the time that your coach will tell you, just put that ball right there where 77 and 71 are and just get as much as you can. But sometimes playmakers are able to make some plays. And, this is one of the times that I was able to make a play.
Yeah, I really like this spin truck move you use here. And I know, as we said before, that you really pattern your game after Marshawn Lynch. This was the most Marshawn Lynch play that I've seen of anybody in this class. I mean, you're you're bucking all over the place, and then you break that tackle. And I've heard that Zack Moss is not a home run threat, but then, I watch these cornerbacks chasing after you and these linebackers, and they're pretty much even with you at the beginning, and then you just burn them for the last 80 yards.
Yeah, it's a good thing for me to go into the league and people think that I'm not a home run guy, but I'm able to do those type of runs for sure.
Yeah, when you get to the league, they're going to find out quick, huh?
Yeah.
I want to stay on this Arizona game, but switch it up a bit. We've seen a couple of zone scheme runs, but you are just as comfortable in a gap scheme. You guys have this power play,
yeah,
and you've added in the wrapping tight end. Take me through kind of the X's and O's of this blocking scheme and who you're reading, which linemen you're trying to get behind.
So here in this gap scheme play, this power play that we ran a lot of was a really good play for us. The offensive line here is, trying to wash everything down coming across my face. And then I have two pullers here. So my left guard is pulling, and then I also have the tight end coming around as well. So the left guard is the guy who's going to pull up and around. So he's the guy that I'm naturally trying to follow. But if for some reason he gets ate up or anything bad happens to him, my next read is my tight end. And then I'm on his hip and then pretty much just following him to the promised land. Here, if you roll the tape a little bit, my guard does a really good job of kicking that guy out. And then again, so does the tight end, just sealing that block and giving me that edge, And then, I'm able to get up inside that A gap and just get north and south as fast as I can.
Yeah, what I really like about this too is you're pressing your block to the right there, right?
Yeah.
You're putting 7 out of that gap. He's right there, and then he gets a tight end all of a sudden. And he would be inside of that tight end, but you just give him that little move to the outside and put him away and open up that gap.
Yeah, it's all about being able to deliver the blocks as a back for your blockers, and that helps them have a lot easier job. And like you said, pressing the gap and pressing my blocks is very, very important as a back. I'm literally one of the most important things to ever do to be a successful back.
You guys get some defensive line slants here, and then we got number 8 on the backside coming around. What fires off in your head when you see that? When do you pick that up?
So, like I said, it's all about diagnosing. So, I'm able to see 8 and 6 being, this is a very unbalanced defense. They're not guarding anyone. Having 2 guys on that edge like that it's not a base defense that anyone runs. That's not the way you play football. So when I'm seeing that, I already know either one of these guys or both of these guys are coming off the edge.
Yeah, what's really impressive to me about this play is on power or just gap schemes in general, you have to have really good timing to get through that gap at the proper time. But then you have number 8, coming on the pressure. So you have to wait, you have to be patient enough, which you're really good at, to wait for that block to develop. But then you also have this guy like coming on block, just screaming off the edge. So I think you really hit it at the perfect time.
Yeah, it's literally a split second more, I wait and, he has a better chance of really getting a good angle on my legs and things like that.
So you break through, and right here you see Jace Whitaker again, and he's in the open field. What are you thinking right here on how you're planning to attack him?
So here, I'm trying to beat him with speed. I think this is somewhere later in the game, second or third quarter like that. So right here, I'm trying to go ahead and beat him at an angle because he already has to drop his hips. I'm thinking I'm able to get him outside, but I didn't see this corner here coming as well. So that's why I had to make a sudden change pretty fast.
Yeah, we're seeing the spin move again, and for everybody who thinks you're just a power back, it takes a lot to just be spinning out all these moves all the time. I mean, these are non-arm tackle, and then it becomes an arm tackle, and he barely even gets you. And you put that little stiff arm on there. I mean, that's incredible stuff.
Yeah, spin move is a really, really good move, man. You don't really see a lot of guys use it anymore. But it's like, it's not a thing that you say, okay, I'm going to use a spin move on this guy. It's more like an instinct, and you're just able to see what type of leverage he's playing with.
Yeah, you're just hitting that B button in Madden, huh?
Yeah.
You had 102 broken tackles this year, which was the best in the class coming out. And you really use your power, speed, agility. You have a mixture of moves. You use that spin move, which you love to use. And then you have the stiff arm as well. So I'm wondering, when you break free in a run and you have a safety dead ahead, 10 yards out in front of you, maybe it's an alley defender, what's your go-to move? How are you preparing to attack him?
Honestly, it's kind of like it's a system, honestly. In the first quarter of a game, what I've always done is, is to set a tone, is to, run right through that guy, to set a tone and allow him to understand that, this game is not going to be a game where I'm just trying to dodge him and miss him all game. It's kind of, pretty much lets the guy know that it's going to be a hard night, for 4 quarters, and then gradually through the game, once you set that tone, you try and use up different moves and things like that, which allows for, a better success rate when you use those different moves. But now he's looking for you to do one type of thing instead of, jumping out of the way on the first time. So I like to set a tone and, deliver the hit.
Yeah, I mean, it shows. And this last year at Utah, you guys ran, split zone, inside zone, outside zone. Yeah. You mixed in some duo, some power, some counter. Let's say you're at the 50-yard line, everything's neutral. What is you're trying to score a touchdown. What's your go-to play? What's your go-to run?
Inside zone, without a question. Yeah. Honestly, that's been a scheme that I've always loved and a run style I've always loved. Since about, my freshman year of college. I've been playing the position now for 5 years. So everything I've learned has been through the course of my college career at the position. And that's one of the plays and formation and things like that I just love to be in. It pretty much gives the back the ability to go ahead and create everything and, really set up an entire defense and allow the offensive line to, really do wonderful things. And, it's all about being a back at that after that.
Yeah, no, it's you guys run everything. Very impressive stuff. All right, Zach. Well, appreciate you so much for showing up, man, and talking some ball with us. And good luck going forward. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir, man. Thanks for having me on.